Good afternoon, everyone. KLTV's Lane Luckie reporting in Henderson County. We're just outside the town of Eustis off Farm to Market Road 2709, where less than 24 hours ago a reported tornado moved through the area and flattened two homes behind me. I'm going to move out of the way. We're going to give just a minute here for some more of our Facebook followers to join in and tell you a little bit more about what happened and what's happening here today. So as I back out of the way here, you can see there's a number of volunteers who've showed up to help clear debris. There were two homes here on this property. So again, for those of you just joining us here on Facebook Live, we're in Henderson County, just outside the town of Eustis. I do apologize if it's a little windy today. Obviously, the wind is blowing very hard at times, and so that may create some noise here in the Facebook Live broadcast, but just want to let you know that I'm going to do my best to try and tell you what's happening here today. So when I showed up here just a while ago, I counted something like 40 vehicles, 40 cars here of people showing up just to help out and help this family. So I'm going to move the camera here so you can kind of get a view of what all is happening here. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see some of those volunteers right now just pulling personal belongings, items out of the debris here. A trophy fish of all things. Look at this.
These were Ronnie York's fish. His tail's a little bit rough. Oh. Carolyn!
Remember when you had that made?
Yeah.
Get tired of holding it?
And this is just one of the many items that's been pulled out of the debris here. A lot of these items have just been pulled out of all of the crushed home. Everything from clothing to kitchen items. Look there. A taxidermied deer mount. Look at the buck there. So clothes, furniture, and lots of debris here. Now I've been talking to family members here, and there were three people here at the time. Carolyn, her daughter Teresa, and Teresa's fiance, Bobby. They were here on the property at the time and saw the weather really starting to intensify, and they knew that it was time to shelter whenever the storm really started picking up. And so they went inside, and next thing they know, and you'll hear this later in our 10 o'clock newscast, I'll share the interview with Teresa as she explains exactly what happened. But they made it out okay, just a few scratches, thankfully. No one was seriously injured. I'm going to flip the camera one more time. This is a slab. Now this is Carolyn's home, and it was completely leveled. Look, there's the refrigerator. Didn't move very far. Look at this. All of the groceries. Inside, even a little boutonniere. So Teresa's son was at work at the time. He does live here. And so he heard about this from friends who started text messaging and sending pictures. And he tried to get back here as quickly as he can. He graduates in just a couple of weeks, is going to be going into the Army. One of the neat things here, though, they were able to find his cap and gown here in the middle of all of this debris, and so he'll have that. He has a banquet coming up on Tuesday night that he needs a suit and tie for. They were able to find that as well. If there is any good news, I've been told that the family does have insurance. They're in good spirits right now. It is tough, understandably, but they do have insurance, and Teresa told me, all things can be replaced. So here's what's left of Teresa and Bobby's place. They had just built this. Both homes here were right next to each other. So Carolyn, the mother, and Teresa, the daughter, and her fiance, both Carolyn and Teresa had lost their husbands more recently, and so this family is no stranger to tragedy, unfortunately, and it's been a really tough couple of years for them. But after talking to them both today, you really can tell that they're going to be leaning on their faith And they really are just touched by the number of people who showed up here from the community. Look, you can see them all over this property right now. Still sorting through items, trying to find anything that's salvageable. Here in the distance, you've just got a small army of people. Now, one thing I did want to tell you about that I thought was also kind of interesting. In the home with Carolyn, Teresa, and Bobby were their 3 dogs. So after the tornado passed, after Teresa said they were thrown into the air, they went outside, of course, after they, were able to just kind of get their bearings and understand exactly what was happening. They couldn't find one of their dogs, one of the 3 dogs. They thought they heard Dominic barking. They couldn't find him. Well, apparently this morning around 3 a.m., they were able to find Dominic. He was buried in the rubble. And here's Dominic right here. Hey, boy. He's an Australian Shepherd. And he seems to be doing okay. Look, he's got a bowl of water there. And Dominic's just been kind of camped out here.
Don't trip your water.
Dominic seems to be okay, just a little shaken up. So clothes here, all along a fence. Plenty of clothes. Friends, family, and neighbors, and like I said, even a volunteer firefighter from as far away as Arlington drove in to try and help here today and do what he could to be a part here of the recovery efforts for this family. One thing that I've heard a lot of people really point out today is just the spirit of this family, the spirit of this community, and how touched they are that so many people would show up. And I keep hearing, only in Texas, only in Texas. And look what seems to be kind of a, just a sign of that, an emblem of that. It's hard to imagine here. These beautiful, beautiful blue skies. The temperature today is right around 70. The wind is blowing. It is just an absolutely gorgeous day. And then you look all around and see destruction like this. Certainly, Eustis is not the only part of East Texas experiencing damage, destruction, and pain among families, among entire communities. But this is one example. I talked to one woman earlier. Her name is Vivian. She's good friends and goes to church here at the Cowboy Church with Carolyn. Sorry, I'm adjusting my gear here. Vivian told me that, she's constantly reminded of events like 9/11, national disasters, tragedies, and how it's amazing that people come together and really rally around each other in these times of need. Wow, I really, I'm a little struck here. I was not anticipating this. We're talking about people rallying together, and I just stepped over something. This poster that says, "Now all together." Anyhow, she said it's a shame that people don't come together all the time in times of calm and quiet and really focus on their communities and not just in these times of extreme need. And I thought that was a very interesting point that she made. But we've seen this time and again over the years here in East Texas as tornadoes, other natural disasters come through and impact entire communities. People come out of the woodwork and just really rally around their neighbors and don't ask questions. It just needs to be done. They know that others would do this for them in their time of need. I'm just going to take a second to look through some of your comments. I haven't had a chance to do that. I want to answer any questions that you may have. I don't know what you may have, but yeah, someone asked about the dog. They had 3 dogs here at the time as the reported tornado went through the Eustis area last night. And the one that I just showed you, an Australian Shepherd named Dominic, and that was the one that was buried in the rubble, found around 3 a.m. this morning. Lots of you folks, right now I'm looking at your comments here on Facebook, and lots of prayers coming this way. I know that the family appreciates it. Some really interesting things found in the rubble here as well. I showed you some of the items that were being pulled out. So Carolyn, getting ready just to wind down for the evening, had taken off her wedding band before her husband passed. They had been married for 50 years. She took the wedding band off, and that was when she kind of got the call to come next door. Teresa and Bobby said, "You've got to come next door." And so she ran next door without thinking. The houses were leveled. And today they found that wedding band. They found Carolyn's wedding band. What are the chances of that? So more debris here. Furniture. This is the slab. Look at their vehicle. Can you imagine? Look here at the windshield. You can only imagine what must have hit the vehicle or fell on the vehicle here. Yeah, another refrigerator here. Furniture, just all kinds of items buried here. This looks like it was the garage area, so you can see a lot of tools here. Table saw, a tiller, a power washer, shop vacs, looks like even welding equipment, generators. An entire just property destroyed, but beautiful, beautiful country out here. Teresa told me they've had so many wonderful memories here. They plan to rebuild. They're not going anywhere. This is where they want to be, and as you can see behind me, it's just beautiful country, so you can imagine why they would want to stay here. I visited a couple of other places here in the Eustis area today. I did talk to some ranchers off of Highway 175. They didn't have any structural damage, but you would not imagine, you can't imagine the damage to the trees. Just twisted, snapped off no more than 3 feet off the ground, and these are huge trees that have to be at least 40, 50 years old. Look across here. A safe, maybe a gun safe. I know that they were able to retrieve some firearms that they used for hunting. So, again, for those of you just joining us, winding down here this Facebook Live, this is a similar scene all across East Texas today, of course, in the Canton area, across Van Zant County, up to Emory. Lots of folks spending their Sunday cleaning up after a very violent Saturday across East Texas due to tornadoes and severe weather. We do want to let you know that school at Eustis ISD has been canceled on Monday. Classes are planning to resume on Tuesday. Now, let me see what time it is here. You've got just a little time to head up to the band hall at Eustis High School. They'll have a charging station there, so anybody who's without power, we understand there's still widespread power outages here in the area right now. You'll be able to charge your devices, use the internet. So the band hall was open today at Eustis High School, but again, there's no classes tomorrow for those of you who have friends and family in the area. So stay with us here on KLTV, here in your Facebook feed and KLTV.com throughout the day and into the week. We'll be continuing to share similar stories like this of East Texans rallying around each other to help rebuild and recover after a unfortunately deadly Saturday in some parts of East Texas. So for now, we're here on FM 2709 just outside of Eustis in Henderson County, where 2 homes have been flattened after last night's reported tornadoes. 3 people inside made it out okay with just a couple of scratches, cuts, bruises. Their 3 dogs made it out okay, and a very grateful family for their community today. I'm Lane Luckie reporting now in Henderson County.